The US President and German Chancellor are expected to discuss Ukraine when they meet next month. Pieter Cleppe joins me now to discuss Germany's stance on Ukraine. He's the editor-in-chief of BrusselsReport.eu. Thanks so much for your time there, Peter. Now, allies are concerned about where Germany stands. We're seeing support from Denmark to Lithuania, France, Spain is sending out support too, and even President Biden is putting troops on standby. But Germany, Europe's largest and richest democracy, strategically situated between the East and West, is hesitating. Why so?
Well, Germany has pursued energy policies that involved abandoning nuclear energy. This followed the Japanese Fukushima disaster. And as a result, Germany is now much more dependent on Russian gas than before, because if you don't have nuclear and you don't want coal, and you want wind and solar energy, then you also need some kind of a backup energy source, and then you end up with Russian gas, because you could go perhaps for American shale gas, but that's way too expensive for Germany at the moment. So that's definitely one important reason. To be fair, it's not the only reason. Germany also has a post-World War II pacifist tradition. It is keen to give diplomacy every chance. So that's another reason.
German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has been vague, though, about whether shuttering the controversial Nord Stream 2 pipeline from Russia to Germany would be part of an arsenal of possible sanctions, insisting it was a private sector project and one separate from Ukraine. Can you explain that a little bit for us?
Well, indeed. So the German government basically follows the rules according to the idea that Nord Stream 2, this new gas pipeline between Russia and Germany, would be a purely private sector enterprise, which would mean that there's less of a concern for, let's say, geostrategical abuse by Russia. Of course, in reality, Nord Stream 2 is anything but a private sector endeavor. I mean, it's heavily initiated by the Kremlin, by the Russian government. And it's also clear that Russia will not shy away from using this economic project for political purposes. For example, by cutting off gas that's going through Ukraine. This will become much easier for Russia now that it will have an extra connection, an extra direct connection with Germany.
Now, the US has demanded that Nord Stream be closed down. Now, given that so much of Europe and Germany's energy resources comes from Russia, what would that mean for Germany and Europe if they were forced to and decided to stop Nord Stream 2 altogether, especially in the depths of winter?
Well, according to simulations, I mean, Nord Stream 2 hasn't been activated yet, right? So, but in the future, if you don't have this extra pipeline, of course, it would mean less supply, so the price would go up. Given that all the other things are equal, of course, we can't look in the future. Energy is hard to predict. The energy prices are hard to predict, but most analysts, at least, do not think that energy prices will come down anytime soon. You know, if you change your energy structure, you can't just change that in 1 or 2 years. These are long-term endeavors, and Germany has decided to shut down nuclear. Some other countries like Belgium in Europe as well. So of course it's possible that the German government would U-turn now, but even then it would take a few years at least for this to have a proper effect on the price. Long story short, if there's no Nord Stream 2, Europe will pay more for their energy.